All right, today we are diving into one of the most essential tools in any network toolkit, Syslog. We're going to learn how to listen in on the secret language our networks are speaking every single second. So let's get right into it.
I want you to just to imagine for a second, what if every single device on your network, your routers, switches, firewalls, all of it, could actually talk to you? What kind of stories would they tell? Would they be talking about successful connections, or maybe warning you about weird login attempts? The crazy thing is, they are already talking. The real question is, are we listening?
You know, every one of these devices is just chattering away 24/7. And with every single thing they do, an interface goes up, a user's password fails, a new route is learned, they generate a little message. Each one is like a digital breadcrumb, just a single sentence in this huge ongoing story about the health and security of your entire network.
And the language they all use to tell this story? Well, that's Syslog. It's the industry standard protocol for this exact thing. You can think of it as the universal translator for network gear. It doesn't matter if it's from Cisco or Juniper or some other vendor, Syslog lets them all report what's happening in a consistent, understandable way.
Okay, so to understand the big picture, we've got to zoom in and look at the tiny details first. Let's grab just one of these messages and decode it piece by piece. Now, it might look like a bunch of gibberish at first, but I promise every single part has a very specific and important meaning.
So here is a super classic example of a Syslog message. This one from a Cisco device. You see the timestamp, right? And then you've got the string of text, %-link-3-up down, followed by a little description. Yeah, I know, it's a bit cryptic, isn't it? But it is absolutely packed with information. Let's break it all down.
That first part, link, that's what we call the facility. This basically tells you which process on the device is talking. You know, was it the OSPF routing protocol? Was it the system itself? In this case, link tells us it has something to do with a network interface. This is the who of the message, and it's so important for filtering logs later on.
Next up, see that number 3? That is the severity level. It's just a number from 0 to 7, and it tells you exactly how urgent this message is. Here's the key. A lower number means a more serious problem. We're going to explore this scale in more detail in just a sec, but for now, just know that this is the network telling you how much you should care.
And the text right after that number, up down, that's called the mnemonic. Think of it like the headline of a news article. It's a short, easy-to-remember code that gives you a quick summary of what happened. In this case, it pretty clearly tells us an interface went either up or down.
And finally, we get to the description. This is the good part, the human-readable text with all the specific details. Interface, gigabit Ethernet 0/0, changed state to up. And just like that, the mystery is solved. Once you get this simple structure down, facility, severity, mnemonic, description, you can decode pretty much any Syslog message you ever see.
Okay, let's circle back to that severity number, because this is honestly one of the most powerful features in all of Syslog. See, not all messages are created equal, not by a long shot. Some are just kind of informational, while others are basically screaming for your immediate attention.
This scale right here is the heart of Syslog's power. It runs all the way from level 0 emergency, which basically means the system is completely unusable, think the building is on fire, bad, all the way down to level 7, which is just for debugging. The main takeaway is simple. The lower the number, the bigger the problem. This is the system that lets you filter out all the noise and focus on what actually matters.
Now, if you're studying for a certification or you just want an easy way to remember the order, here's a super popular mnemonic that people use. Every awesome Cisco engineer will need ice cream daily. It corresponds directly to emergency, alert, critical, error, and so on. It's a bit cheesy, I know, but hey, it's a handy little trick to quickly know how serious a message is without having to look up the chart every time.
So, we can read a single message now. That's awesome. But the real power, the real magic happens when you stop listening to just one device and you start listening to all of them at once. So let's zoom out and see how we collect all these millions of individual stories into one single, coherent book.
And the process is actually pretty straightforward. First, all your devices, your routers, your switches, they generate these event messages. Then, they use the Syslog protocol to send them out over the network. And finally, they all arrive at a central collector, which is usually a tool called a SIEM. That stands for Security Information and Event Manager. This central server is basically the grand library where all the network stories get stored.
And for those of you who like the technical details, there's a specific address where all these messages get sent. The
The central server is always listening on UDP port 514. Because this is an industry standard, any device that speaks Syslog knows exactly where to send its logs without any special setup. It's like the designated digital PO box for all network data.
Okay, so we've collected millions of logs in one place. We've built our library. Now for the payoff. What can we actually do with all this information? What kinds of secrets can these logs reveal when you put them all together?
This, right here, is the true power of it all. With all this data, we can troubleshoot really complex issues by seeing events from different devices at the same time. You can see a firewall drop a packet and instantly see the connection timeout on a server. We can monitor for security threats by looking for weird patterns across the whole network. We can figure out what normal looks like, so the second something unusual happens, it sticks out like a sore thumb. And if something bad does happen, we have a perfect, detailed record to figure out exactly what went down.
Let me make this super real for you. Imagine you're worried about someone trying to hack into your network. With your central log server, you can run a dead simple query like this one. Show me every log message that has the word fail and the word password. And boom, instantly you see every single failed login attempt across every single device. You could literally spot a brute force attack while it's happening. That is just incredibly powerful.
So, the crucial point is this. Your network is meticulously documenting everything it does 24/7. It's keeping this incredibly detailed, honest diary. And by learning its language through Syslog, you get the power to understand its past, monitor its present, and protect its future. So the only question left is, are you reading it?